So how was your February of 2021? Mine was pretty loaded with a lot of progressive rock music. I reacted to about 13 bands that I've never heard of before. I want to see what you guys thought. We're going to check out some of your comments on some of these videos I made, and as well as make some comments myself on the month. So let's have this little review now. First up was ISIS. I reacted to Garden of Light, and I am so impressed by this band because they have so much depth. They're parallel to Tool. They're not derivative of Tool, I would say. And one of you said, Prog Freak said, ISIS is one of the most wonderful things to happen in music. I just love their music, and I've seen them live 2 times. And then I reacted to Arch Echo. The song was To the Moon. And Marcelo Coronel, he said that I got to see these guys open for Pliny and Periphery. What a great show. Then there was the Lateralus 1 year later, which if you're not familiar, I reacted to Lateralus a year ago. It was one of the first songs I reacted to. And I actually cried at the end of the song. And I debated, well, I guess I'll upload this. I'm not afraid of showing tears. And I was amazed by all the positive response. It's probably one of my favorite tunes by Tool at this point. I reacted to some Hypochondriac by Muse, and of course there's a lot of you that are Muse fans who watch this channel. That's been one of the... Usually when I do a Muse song, I get a lot of hits. Scartech says, such an underrated song in my opinion. Love the heaviness. Not really any other Muse songs like this one. And I did a first react to Wheel, which is a really impressive band. I like them a lot. Mark Blau says, tight, melodic, original approach. One fat thumb up for this very good band. Good to see there are new bands who dare making real and original music in comparison with the pulp you can hear in the charts. So hurrah. I totally agree with you there, Mark. And we began our full album react of Rishloo. We got through 3 of the tracks this month, or last month, February. The Great Rain Beetle was the one that kicked it off. Jennifer says, oh wow, it's 4 a.m. and 3 degrees Fahrenheit out, but I had to step out for a smoke to listen/watch this one, Dean. What a treat. Thanks again for doing this album. Rishloo is close to my heart. Wait, Butterfly says, this band Rishloo is an awesome band. His vocals are so amazing. The music is exhilarating. So very nicely created. Thank you, Dean, for this great reaction to these amazing bands. You're welcome, White Butterfly. Then I did an Ask Me Anything video, which was pretty fun and pretty tame questions, though. I was expecting some more daring questions. You know, next time I do that, just keep that in mind. You can ask me anything. Okay, and then I did my second number 2, that is Prog Vinyl Haul, which is me purchasing vinyl from the used record stores and whatnot, and off of discogs.com, and really having fun. I did my first react to Tesseract, and there's been a few of you pestering me saying, you gotta react to Tesseract. Rennie says, Tesseract, it's difficult and perhaps silly to rank bands, but I have to say Tesseract is in my top 5 in my universe. Been following them since their first demo back in 2007. Regarded as one of the forefathers of djent, they are truly a remarkable band with groove, melodies, and atmospheric soundscape as their trademark. And what is a month of reacting without reacting to Bandmaid? Certainly one of my fave bands. I reacted to Black Hole, which just completely floored me. The energy of the drummer is just astounding, and the song has so much energy and really fun too. Akane was the drummer, I believe. A couple of you made comments about her. Proud Heretic said Akane is beating those drums like they owe her money. And then Yuna's husband says Akane is a goddess of the drums and of my heart. Then I reacted to some live Porcupine Tree, which was at my brother's behest, actually. He gave me a request months ago. I finally got to it. Russ Bell says, I've been hoping you'd do this one for so long. It really shows what a unique drummer Gavin is. And certainly Gavin is one of the highlights of that group, the Porcupine Tree. And then I reacted, as part of my continuing full album react to Swans, The Glowing Man, I reacted to Frankie M, which was a completely mesmerizing song. Mark Blau says, think I've got to be in altered state of consciousness to understand how good this really is. Florida Bell said, I wasn't ready for it to end, and it's actually a pretty long tune too. Another video I reacted to for the first time, this band's called TTNG, This Town Needs Guns. Bill D says, TTNG has an amazing repertoire of songs. They're very talented musicians and write beautiful and yet dynamically powerful tracks. And I even had one of my commenters say he used to work with the singer. He was in a band called Panini's at the time, and it was years later I heard this band and recognized him. So that was AJRD. Now, here's an interesting one. This is a certain international flavor here. The band called Taikodam Bridge, they're an Indian band, prog rock, and sort of in the vein of Tool, I would say. Jennifer just was swept away. She said, oh my God, this is it. This is what I've been waiting for. A brand new band that totally grabbed me by the throat from the first 10 seconds of the first song I've ever heard. I did a guitar lesson for Rush, the Body Electric. Simon Mayu says, yay, more Rush guitar lessons. For sure there will be more lessons coming down the wire. I did a react to an Italian band called Procession. And that was a new one for me. Nicholas Van de Houten said, that was really fun and groovy. I had to laugh because I said cool literally 1 second before you did, near the halfway point. Lots of laughs, yeah. And James Mack said, oh dang, as soon as that guitar lick came on in. I love the groove behind this thing. Yeah, they have a great groove in this tune. And, of course, I reacted to Opeth because they're one of the great new prog bands of the last few decades, I would say. Santiago Payol says, one of my favorite Opeth tracks. This album is gorgeous. Most of their stuff has amazing production, but the sound in this one, especially the drum mixing, is impeccable. Not surprising considering Steve Wilson mixed it. And I reacted to Gazpacho, the band. And JB says, my request has been heard. You have my gratitude for giving these guys a listen. They're tragically underappreciated. The banjo in there was really cool. And I would say, too, as I was reviewing this song later in the month, this song's a grower. Gazpacho, they grow on you a lot more with the second listen. I did a react to Mastodon covering Stairway to Heaven. And I loved how it made me feel like a kid again, actually. It brought me back memories. It's sort of like listening to Led Zeppelin anew from a different perspective. Chris Heck said, Mastodon are a band that has developed extremely well through their career. This is an excellent cover. I had a rather emotional react to the album is Dirge, the band is Mr. Sirius. It was my first react to Japanese band. It just took me to some heights, of mental heights, of beauty. I was really amazed by that stuff. And Murdoch Moriarty said, nice jazz fusion flourishes thrown in here. Only the vocal style actually point a bit toward Japan. Otherwise, one would not have a clue. And certainly I hadn't heard of them, and I wish I had, because I would have loved this band back in the 90s. I did a first react to Storm Corrosion, which of course is a project between Steven Wilson and Micah Ockerfeld of Opeth, and it was really different. It was really unique. I loved it a lot. Let's hear what you guys said. Paul Carew says, the whole album is awesome. And then Mark Blau says, beautiful, dark, creepy, and sweet in one composition. Florida Bell said, divine. I did another react to a familiar band to me now, of course, Leprous, which I always call the sort of BMW of progressive metal and rock. Jacqueline said, thanks, Rennie, for this Patreon pick. This piece was composed by the bass player, Simon, and actually I featured in this video, I showed some pictures from Rennie, who requested this song, and he'd actually had dinner with a couple of guys, or he went on a hike with a couple of guys from Leprous. He had some drumsticks that they gave him. Really nice, generous with their time, these guys. I did a compilation video. It's actually the third in the series. It was just kind of a wacky idea I had. I like Rush cover bands, I just was curious to see what's out there, what people were doing, how good they were or how bad they were. I found all the best, and I made 10 minutes of video, 10 different bands, and I did the same thing again. This is the third time I've done that, so a 10 and 10 kind of thing. And I reacted to the Deer Hunter, which is still very new band to me, which I consider kind of more like a modern Alan Parsons project, basically. That's what they sort of feel like and sound like to me. Jan Harstay said, I really, really like the Deer Hunter, and I've always been in awe of how seamlessly they weave orchestral arrangements with progressive, alternative rock and pop elements. Sometimes I just feel overwhelmed with the many ideas and motifs that they throw at me. XD. Now, this was a real progressive fusion rock delight. Tigran Hamasayan. What a pleasure, says Jean Hughes Gilbert. Tigran has followed me in my Spotify for years, and it's always a pure pleasure. I consider him as a low-key metal musician that decided to play piano in a jazz band. Zosie said, glad you liked it. What's amazing is that he not only does these super dense pieces, he also has done some very emotional music as well. This one comes off an album called Mockroot, for example, and not only is the album full of misleading time signatures and wonky jazz chords, it's also very emotionally expressive as well, which is a very difficult balance to strike. And then another first react. This time it's a band called Wild Run. I think that's a cool name for a band. Jake Rushing, I think he was the requester. He said, glad you enjoyed it. I've pretty much had this album on repeat all year. And at the end of the month, a brand new band to me, Aviations. I reacted to one of their tunes called Outliers. Apparently there's a new remix, or maybe they re-recorded the song, and the guy who wanted me to react to this, he apologized and said he actually wanted me to react to the second one. But I thoroughly enjoyed this one, and I think it's actually kind of cool. I want to check out the second one and compare. So that's it. Thanks for all of your patronage and support for the channel, and we'll talk to you all later next month. Talk to you. Bye.